Hey guys, this is Sandwich01. Today I'm going to be starting off the new tutorial series I'm making for Linkseyi's ModMaker. There's going to be a couple of videos that go over the different things you can make in ModMaker, different aspects of it. Today I'm going to be starting off with blocks. So, before I go into that, when you first download the file from the forum page, you will get version number zipped file. Right now it's 0.092. You just extract that. You can extract that anywhere. I extracted it to my desktop so you don't have to wait. So when you open that up, it's going to have another version number folder inside it. You open that up and it'll have this. What you're going to be concerned with is this right here, because this is the launcher. So you can make a shortcut for that and I'm just launch that from wherever you want. So this is the actual interface for ModMaker. I usually like to start with putting in a mod name so that I don't forget it later. The tutorial mod is going to be based off of Redstone, so I'm just going to name it Redstone Mod. So right now, as you can see, there's no blocks, items, recipes, furnace recipes, mobs, or anything in this mod, so we get to start from scratch. When you want to make something new to your mod, you're going to click one of these buttons. I'm going to make a new block, so I will click this one. So when I do that, it comes up with the new block window. So the first thing I do is put in the coding name. You can't have spaces in this or else it just doesn't work, so I'm just going to put redstone block, and then the display name is going to be block of redstone. So light value, what this does is controls how much light your block gives off. I don't want to change that because it's just going to be a regular non-light emitting block. Block material right here, this does not actually do anything. It has all these different settings, but it just doesn't do anything. It doesn't control sound or anything. That is block sound down here. So hardness is the time it takes to break the block or mine it. So I'm going to set it to 2. I'm not sure how long that is. I'm pretty sure last time I tested it that's not too long, but it's decent. So resistance is resistance to explosions, so I'm going to put 4 here. I'm not positive how much resistance it gives it, probably not much. Over here is texture path and texture editor. You can edit textures in Linkseyi's ModMaker, but I'm pretty positive it does not work extremely well. So you can use other programs for that. You can even use just Paint for it. So you really don't need to use that, but it's available. So texture path, you hit browse, and when you've made a texture for the block, you hit browse and you search for it and just click on it and do open. So let me find it. Redstone block. Oh, it's right in front of my face. Okay, so then it'll show up right here. Next thing is generate naturally. If you check this off, the block will generate with the world, and then the settings for it will not be grayed out. So clump, this controls how many blocks spawn in one vein. I'm just gonna do 1 because this isn't going to be an OR. I'm just going to make it generate naturally just to show you the natural generation. This isn't actually going to like generate underground. It's just going to generate randomly anywhere, so it could even just appear as 1 block on the surface. And I know that's kind of weird, but I'm just doing that for the tutorials. So rarity, the higher this is, the more common the block is, and the lower, the more rare. So 60 is pretty common. It's probably a lot more common than coal. So surface or nether, if you check off nether, then this block will generate in the nether. So when you check off surface, then the block will generate on earth or the surface, and if you check off the nether, the block just generates in the nether. So I'm going to make this generate on earth. Over here is block sound. When you change this, this is the different sounds that the block will make when you walk over the block or hit it with a pick or your hand. So since this is going to be like compacted redstone into a block, I'm going to make it powder. I'm pretty sure that sounds similar to stone and glass, but I think that's the appropriate sound. So fuel value, if you change this, you can change the number of items that the block would smelt if it was used as fuel. If it's at 0, you cannot use it as fuel at all. But if you have it as 1, say, put it in the furnace in the fuel slot, it'll smelt only 1. If you put it as 0.5, it would only do half the smelting and you need more fuel. I'm just going to leave it at 0. So items dropped, yeah, that has to do with custom drops. If I wanted this block to drop something that I created or that something that's already in the game, I'd check off custom drop and select something from the drop down menu. Every item is in the game. No. Every item in the game is in this list. So if I wanted this to drop ice for some reason when I broke it, then I'd just select that, and then I could select the number of ice blocks it dropped. But I'm just going to have it drop itself, and so if you don't check this, it just drops itself. So the block model, this is still in beta. What this is if you know in Minecraft, say flowers, they have a different model than a default block because they're smaller and they're not like a full block. So you can change that right here. I'm not positive how well it works because it is still being tested. It's in beta. So creative tab, when you go into creative mode and you open up your inventory, there's different tabs like food, weapons, tools. You can select which tab that your block goes into right here. Since it's redstone block, I'm just going to put it in redstone, and I'm actually going to put everything that I make for this tutorial mod in the redstone tab just so we can find it later. So now that I've created it, it'll have the coding name right here and it'll show up in the blocks list. And I'm sorry. And when you select it, you can do one of two things with these buttons right here. If you click the green pencil, you can go back into the block window and all your settings are there, so you can make changes to it later. And if you click the X, you can just delete that completely. So right now I'm going to save my progress quickly. So if you do save, I'll just put it on my desktop. I'll just put it as redstone mod. It'll save as I think it's like an extension that's very similar to Linkseyi, so you'll be able to tell what your file is. Yeah, it's Linkseyi. Yeah. Sorry. So the next thing I'm going to do is create another block, because I created two that I'm going to use for this tutorial. This block is going to be Redstone Glowstone. It is going to spawn in the nether, and it's going to give off light. So, go back into the new block menu. I'm going to name this Redstone Glowstone. And the display name, this is the name that shows up when you put your mouse over the block in the inventory. It's going to be Redstone Glowstone, just capitalized and spaced. So light, I'm actually going to change this because glowstone gives off light. And I'm going to put this as high as it can go, which is just 1. Block material, I'm going to change that. Hardness, since glowstone is pretty fragile, I'm going to put it as 1. And resistance, I'm just going to leave it at 0 so that if it blows up, it just doesn't survive ever. So I have a texture prepared for this block. Let me just find it quickly. And I just want to say a quick thing about the texture. I was recording earlier trying to get textures, and I had my texture folder inside my tutorial mod folder, and it could not locate that folder when I went into it in the browse menu. So if that's a problem for you, the way I fixed it is I just moved that folder to my desktop, and it can just access it directly now. So anyways, gonna make this generate naturally. I'm going to make this spawn in a clump of 7, just kind of a random number. Rarity, I'm going to make it common so that I can find it when I go in game. Max height, I forgot to go over this, I just realized, but this is just the maximum height that, said it right there, maximum height that the block can be generated at. So if you wanted this to only be generated like deep underground, you could change this to be a really low number. But I'm pretty sure right now this just generates on the surface. Right, I'm pretty sure oh, I thought you could make it higher so that it would spawn on like the ceiling of the nether. I don't know about that. But I'm going to check off nether so it spawns there. Put this in the redstone tab. And I'm actually going to make this drop a custom material. I'm going to make it drop redstone dust. So just go through here, and I'll just make it drop 4. I'm not going to give this a fuel value because it's pretty straightforward what that does. So I'll do that in the items tutorial. I will show fuel values there. So just create, and now I have 2 right here. I'm just going to save again. And so now, if I went and I generated files and I installed my mod, I could find these 2 blocks. But I am going to go over the testing, installing your mod in another video. So this concludes this first tutorial video. The next one is going to be going over items, so feel free to go watch that one if you need help or just want to learn about how you can make items. So thank you for watching, and I hope this was helpful. Sandwich on.